Passato Prossimo is one of the most used tenses in Italian when we talk about the past, but it's not the only one we use, therefore it's really important to know when to use it. As I always say, speaking a foreign language doesn't mean to know the words and to know the verbs and how to conjugate them. It's important to know the usage of tenses. So today we're going to see when to use Passato Prossimo in Italian. Passato Prossimo is used to express an event completed at a definite moment in the past. When I say the past, it can be 5 minutes ago, 2 days ago, 2 years ago. For example, I could say sono arrivato qui alle 6. I arrived here, or I got here, at 6. Another example could be 2 anni fa ho comprato una casa. 2 years ago, I bought a house. Passato Prossimo it's also used to talk about something happened once, twice, 3 times, no matter how many times, but it must be specific. For example, I could say sono andato in montagna una volta. I went to the mountain once. Ho viaggiato in aereo tante volte. I traveled by plane many times. Passato Prossimo it's also used to talk about an event which started and finished in a limited amount of time. For example, I could say ho vissuto a Roma per 2 anni. I lived in Rome for 2 years. Another example could be ho camminato per un'ora. I walked for 1 hour. Okay, let's now see which English tenses become Passato Prossimo. The first English tenses which become Passato Prossimo is simple past. An example can be if you want to say I went to Bari last year, sono andato a Bari l'anno scorso. Or if you want to say you came to my house yesterday, sei venuto a casa mia ieri. Another one, she bought a guitar this morning. Lei ha comprato una chitarra questa mattina. So when I say simple past, it doesn't mean that each time you use simple past in English, you will use Passato Prossimo in Italian, and this is very important. So you would use Passato Prossimo in the cases I've said before, but simple past can also become imperfetto, which is another tense we use to express something in the past. The main difference between Passato Prossimo and imperfetto is that imperfetto expresses something that used to happen in the past, something that happened many times and not definite in the past. For example, if you want to say I went out every night at 10. In this case we are using simple past, but in Italian it would be uscivo tutte le sere alle 10. So we will see when to use imperfetto in another video anyway. And also simple past can also become passato remoto, which is also called the historical past. It's used to talk about something happened long time ago. For example, if you want to say Colombo discovered America in 1492, we would say Colombo scoprì l'America nel 1492. So remember when you need to use Passato Prossimo. Not always. If you use simple past, sometimes it can be also another tense in Italian. The second tense which become Passato Prossimo is the present perfect. So if you want to say I've eaten a pizza, you can say ho mangiato una pizza. Or you've paid the bills. Hai pagato le bollette. Let's see now how to conjugate Passato Prossimo. Passato Prossimo is a compound tense, which means that it's made out of 2 parts. You have an auxiliary and a past participle. So the auxiliary can be either essere or avere. If you don't know how to conjugate essere or avere, you can click on the top and you can watch the video about presente semplice. And then the past participle. The past participle in English could be eaten, done, bought, known, for example, given, another one. These are all past participle, the ones you use in present perfect after the auxiliary. The thing is that in English you only have the auxiliary to have. So I have eaten, I have done, whatever, have plus past participle. In Italian, as you've seen before, we don't have avere only, but we also have essere, to be. So let's see when to use avere and when to use essere. You may have noticed that in the previous examples I said ho comprato una casa, ho camminato per un'ora, sono arrivato qui alle 6. In here you can see that in the first and in the second sentence we have avere, ho, plus past participle, and in the third sentence we have essere, sono, plus a past participle. So let's see how we choose the auxiliary. We need to split the verbs into 3 groups. This is something you're not going to find in a book because this is something I've created myself. I think this is the best way for my students to understand and to choose the right auxiliary. So let's focus on the first group. We will call this group what/who. And this verb has the auxiliary avere. Let's take the verb comprare, to buy. Can you say what after this verb? Yes, you can. To buy what? What did you buy, for example? I bought a house. Okay, this is a direct object, the house. So you can say ho comprato una casa. You can also swap from active to passive voice. So you can say I bought the house was bought by me. Ho comprato la casa è stata comprata da me. So if you can say what, if the verb answers the question what or who, then you can use the auxiliary avere, and it's the group 1. Another example could be cucinare, to cook. What did you cook? I cooked pasta. Ho cucinato la pasta. This is the first group. Let's see the second group. We will call this group how long. Okay, let's take the example we've seen before, camminare, to walk. Ho camminato per un'ora. So, with the verb to walk, you can say for how long you've done something. I walked for 1 hour. I walked all night long. So, when you can do this verb belongs to the second group, which is the how long group. Let's call it like this to make it easier for you, because I don't want to use all the grammar terms which can make your life harder. So I find this is easier for you to understand. So, ho camminato per un'ora. Let's take another verb, ballare, to dance. You can say I danced all night long. Ho ballato tutta la notte. Okay, so when you can specify how long you've done something, you are using the second group. And you have avere again. So first group and second group, they have avere. Let's see the third group, which we will call the rest. And this verb has the auxiliary essere. So if you cannot answer the question what or who, or if you can't say for how long you've done something, most probably you will be in the third group. Why am I saying most probably? Because this technique I'm telling you now, it works 90% of the times, because we have many verbs in Italian which can be used either with essere or with avere, but we will see this in another video. Okay, let's see this third group, which has essere as auxiliary. Let's take the verb arrivare, for example. Can you say arrivare what? To arrive what? Or to arrive who? Not really. You could say to arrive where. So it wouldn't be group 1. Can you say to arrive how long? If you arrive, you arrived and that's it. You don't keep on arriving. Okay, so it wouldn't be group 2. It's going to be group 3. So you will say sono arrivato for a man or sono arrivata for a woman. So these verbs in group 3 need to have the very last letter, which must agree in gender and number with the subject. If you go to my website and you go to verbs, and then let's choose arrivare and Passato Prossimo. As you can see, we have a man and a woman. So sono arrivato or sono arrivata. This is the first person singular. If we go to the first person plural, you will see siamo arrivati or siamo arrivate. Okay, so siamo arrivati means a group of men or men and women together. Siamo arrivate, it's only a group of women. In this group you will find verbs of movement, but when I say movement, it doesn't mean that every verb which expresses a movement belongs here. Because for example, walk, it's a movement. You're walking, you're moving, but it belongs to the group 2. Same thing for dancing or swimming, okay? So they all belong to the group 2. I will give you a list of the most used verbs which express a movement and that have the auxiliary essere. The first one is arrivare, then tornare, venire, cadere, partire, andare. So these 6 verbs express a movement and they belong to the group 3. Then in group 3 we also find verbs which express a lack of movement, like for example rimanere or restare, which mean the same, stare, to stay or to be, it depends, and essere, to be. Then you will also find verbs which express a process of changing, like crescere, to grow up, nascere, to be born, diventare, to become, and morire, to die. And then all reflexive verbs. So if a verb is reflexive, an example of a reflexive verb is probably one of the first verb you really learn in Italian. It's like chiamarsi. Mi chiamo Edoardo. This is chiamarsi. I call myself Edoardo. So if a verb is reflexive, you must use essere as auxiliary in passato prossimo. So an example could be lavarsi, to wash, mi sono lavato. Vestirsi, to get dressed, mi sono vestito. Sposarsi, to get married, mi sono sposato. So any verb which ends in si is reflexive and will use essere as auxiliary. Sometimes you will find that this method doesn't work because sometimes you can say something in English that doesn't really make sense in Italian. For example, let's take the verb to walk. In English, you could say I walked the dog, okay? But you can't say ho camminato il cane in Italian. It doesn't make sense at all. So in Italian, it would be I took the dog out for a walk. So we are basically saying the same thing, but in a different way. So if you take this verb and you say, okay, who did I walk or what did I walk? I walked the dog. Okay, fine, so this is group 1. It's actually the group 2 in Italian. But in this case, group 1 and 2 have the same auxiliary, so it's not a big deal. But it can happen that instead of being 2, it would be 3. And then in this case, you need to change, you need to use another auxiliary. So that's why I'm saying it works most of the times, but not always. Okay, so to recap, you take your verb and the first thing you need to see is if this verb answers the questions what or who. Let's take vendere, to sell. So, question number 1. Can I say, what did you sell? In this case, you can say it. So, che cosa hai venduto? I sold my car. Ho venduto la mia macchina. So, this is group 1, the auxiliary is avere, and you can also swap from active to passive voice. So you can say, I sold my car, the car was sold by me. So here you have a verb ending in ere, vendere. So when it's regular, ere becomes uto. Past participle will become venduto. Ho venduto, I sold, hai venduto, you sold. Then I will make a video for the most important irregular verbs in Passato Prossimo, which you will find in the description. Let's go now to another verb. Let's take nuotare. This is a verb in are, to swim. Would you say what or who did you swim? Not really. So it's not going to be group 1. Let's see if it can be group 2. Second question, can I say that I swam for an hour? Yes, you can. So, nuotare, to swim, goes into the second group, group 2, and you have avere again. So here you have nuotare, verbs in are becomes ato, if regular. So, ho nuotato, hai nuotato. We also saw comprare, to buy. Ho comprato, I bought. Hai comprato, you bought. Remember to start always with the question number 1, the one about what or who. So you take your verb, whichever the verb is, and you start. Can I say what or who? No, I can't. Okay, second question. Can I say that I did this action for an hour? Yes, okay, group 2. But if the answer is no, again, to question 2 as well, we go to the third group. Let's take uscire, for example, to go out. You wouldn't say what did you go out or who did you go out. You could say who did you go out with, but this is not just who, it's who with. So in this group we are only talking about what and who, not who with. So it's not going to be group 1. And we can't even swap from active to passive voice. So if you say I went out at 10, you couldn't say 10 were gone out by me. It doesn't make sense. So it's not going to be group 1. Let's see the second question. Can I say I went out for an hour? Okay, I've heard many people saying I went out for an hour. But actually, the action of going out ends when you put your feet outside the door. Because that one is the action to go out. So you're passing from a place, I don't know, the pub, and you go out, you go outside. You don't keep on going out. Okay, so you just do the action that time and it ends after 1 second. Okay, so you don't keep on going out for an hour. You are out, or you stay, if you can say this, out. You remain out for an hour. But this is not the verb to go out. So the verb to go out doesn't belong either to group 1 nor to the group 2, which means it belongs to the group 3, the ones with the auxiliary essere. I would say sono uscito alle 8, for example. I went out at 10 if I'm a man. A woman would say sono uscita alle 8. Okay, so verbs in ire becomes ito. If the verb is regular, like in this case, uscire. Another one could be dormire or dormito. In this case, we have the auxiliary avere. Because I can say that I slept. Dormire means to sleep, so I slept for 1 hour. And again, ire becomes ito. I really hope everything is clear, guys. I highly recommend to click on the link below, which will take you to my website, where you have this fantastic exercise I've created for you, where, as you can see, you have 3 boxes. The first one means group 1, so it's basically the group what, who, and it has the auxiliary avere. Second box means second group, again auxiliary avere, and it's the group how long. And then you have the third box, which is the one with essere, and it's called the rest. Let's call it the rest. So what do? You have verbs on the top, you have a card with a verb, and if you don't know what it means, you will understand it from the picture. And then you need to choose if this verb belongs to the group 1, 2, or 3. So just click on the box and you will see if you get a happy face, it means that it's correct. If not, you're gonna get a sad face. And then of course there will be many more exercises to practice the conjugation of Passato Prossimo. I really hope you liked this video, guys. If so, please leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and ci vediamo al prossimo video. Ciao!
italessons.com.
Learn Italian online.